Anyway, okay, well, I guess we can get started. My name is Leah Simpson. I'm project manager at CKC. Today we are talking about our goals. And I just wanted to go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves. You can say your name, where you're located, and yeah, I guess we'll start there. I will go first, I guess. So Leah Simpson, project manager at CKC. I actually live in Miami, Florida. I've been with CKC I'm coming up on a year very soon here, very quickly. So happy to be here. And I think next we have Courtney. I'm just going to go in order of my screen here. Or C. Vance.
Hi, I'm Courtney Vance. I'm a senior project manager here at CKC Consulting. I've been here almost 3 years, and I see a couple of familiar faces on the line. I'm so excited that you ladies were able to join us. So yeah, I'll pass it off to the next.
We have Natalie. Natalie Price.
I'm Natalie Price. I'm with Krause Anderson Construction Company out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I am the manager of the Marketing Information Services Group.
Susanna. Suzanne.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm Suzanne King. I'm senior marketing manager at Ascentec. We're in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Hello.
Hi. Thanks for joining us. Andy, would you like to introduce yourself?
There we go. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Couldn't find the mute button. I'm Andy Cohen. I'm the marketing and CRM specialist at Mycon General Contractors in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, and then last we have Mary. Well, actually not last. We'll go to Erica.
Hi, I'm Mary Rowling. I'm a project manager at CKC. I've been with CKC for 3 months, so rather new. And I'm in the North Texas area, like south of Fort Worth. Oh, I have my daughter here, sorry.
And then Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica Curtis. I'm the Marketing Communications Specialist at CKC. I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining the call. So we are going to discuss our goal setting, and maybe some goals you accomplished last year or goals that you want to accomplish this year. So what are some goals that you guys have for this year that you'd like to accomplish either in your CRM or in my mind, I guess when I originally heard this, I was thinking about goal setting for like business development and stuff. But then I started thinking like, maybe this is also like your goals of things that you want to accomplish in the CRM. So I think either one would be applicable, and then how you plan to accomplish those goals. Does anyone want to start?
I can, I guess.
Okay, Natalie,
yeah,
you
sure.
go.
Oh, sorry. We're actually meeting on this as a group, like overall goals, but I think we have had a bunch of old project history records, like from the 70s, and we want to get those in. Maybe we get one, but like a concerted effort to do that. And then one of our department goals is metrics, which obviously different metrics, and that's all out of Co-Essential. And so getting that right and accurate so we can compare it to last year. So those are kind of things that come to the top of mind for me or for us.
Yeah. And how are you planning to go about or tackle getting your metrics correct, like your data, making sure that you're capturing the right data and your
Well, I think we
data integrity.
Yep, I think the last year was figuring out if we had to redo fields and the process and educating BD and executives on why we're asking for this. And now I think we've got the fine oiled machine and just reporting on it and knowing the expectations. So I think we spent a lot of time and pain and agony last year to get there. And now it's bought in and exceptions, or, you know, it's
Awesome.
expectations.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like sometimes it is the why, like when people know why I'm doing XYZ, that's when you tend to get the buy-in. So that's great. I'm glad that that's successful for you. Anyone else? You know, Suzanne, you had something.
Sure. I mean, I think that in our company, they've been using their CRM for not client relationship management, but mostly just for payroll. I mean, you know, the financial part of it. And it's getting people now to learn that you don't just use it for that, and to start entering their data into that location so that we have access to it. We can start doing stuff with it and so it's a whole learning curve for them. So I think, and my manager definitely has a plan for that, but it is going to be a lot of work because people, that's not what they see it as. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah. What system are you using? What's your
Vision or Vantage Point?
Vantage Point. Okay. And so it's also payroll, but you want to be you want to,
yeah,
it does
it's
everything.
yes. We have like the proposal side of it, you know, project management, kind of like where you keep all your financial stuff. And then it's also, we also have the other side, not completely set up, but the CRM part of it too. So
yeah, got it. Awesome. What about you, Andy? Do you have any goal setting?
I do. They were actually, my goals are part of my actual SMART goals for evaluation purposes and whatnot at the end of the year, which our fiscal year is October to September. So mine actually started a few months ago. But a big part of that is the CRM maintenance and just making sure we have the most complete, accurate information in there as we can in all the modules. Like the knowledge module hadn't been updated in a couple years. So, you know, that, and then personnel records, making sure all the fields are in, you know, just kind of everything. So it's a big project. And I've been working with CVance on some calls just to kind of help me reel that into a manageable chunks at a time. So I've started doing that. I kind of have my dashboard of what I want to tackle first, and then have started creating calendar reminders and scheduling time to do those on a weekly basis by printing maintenance reports or however I want to do it. And then I've set up some Excel spreadsheets just to help me track where I am with that, like what parts I've started and when they're complete and whatnot. And obviously it's never 100% complete. We all know this, but I want to get it as accurate, you know, as complete as I can.
Yeah. Is that for like your project data as well, or is it just?
Yeah, project data, personnel, companies, content, like all of them. But, you know, obviously there's project and personnel are probably the most important, and then we'll deal with, you know, we'll go down from there. So.
Got it. Sorry, I have some construction going on inside. They stopped, but now it sounded like they started again. So I hope you guys can you hear me okay? Is it terrible? Okay, good. Awesome. So how do you go about capturing like getting your people to give you that information? Because that we all know that's the hardest part, like getting people to, you know, enter all that information. How have you found it to be successful for you, Andy? You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I
Okay.
would say like we haven't really figured out the best way to do that. We've tried a combo of things. Right now, a lot of them don't have access to enter data. So sending it to us in marketing, but even that's like not necessarily working just because, oh, I've got the information and then they don't still share it, or it's a lot of work too when you do get it, but that's kind of how we've been doing it. I wouldn't say it's like the best way, but how we're doing it.
Yeah, we have some people that have access. Our estimating team, actually, they set up an opportunity, or, you know, their coordinator sets up the opportunity. We have pretty strong buy-in on our CRM from management and leadership here at MyCon. So getting the information isn't horrible. I've dealt with horrible information gathering in the past, and MyCon is actually pretty good at it. It is still sometimes a little bit of hunting and searching for the right reports that the site team puts together to find accurate completion stats and whatnot. But I have found, I've only been with MyCon for 3 months, but I have found that people here are pretty responsive and pretty quick to respond when I have just a quick question on like a changed completion date or whatnot. Our business development team also is very good at you know, putting in pursuits and in their information by themselves. So I think we're kind of fortunate on that end that we have such strong buy-in from leadership that it's kind of everybody knows they have to do it.
Yeah, that's so important. I find that that's always like key, you know, if you get, you know, the highest person talking about it, stuff gets done. That's awesome. Does anybody use, so going to like the business development side, what about setting goals within your system or within your CRM? Is anybody doing that, tracking goals that way?
I think just getting them to like use the widgets. They don't have to update the info. As that was said, we have a little bit of a control issue. So a lot of the lead generation is done by us or trusted BD people. But just using the widgets for screenshots and snippets that they can do this themselves. It's accurate. It looks the same on everybody's, but just doing that to free that, you know, you don't need us all the time. So I think some of that is a goal thing constantly, to use your license to do what we've set you up to do.
Is that for your business development?
Yeah,
numbers and,
sorry.
like stuff like
Yep.
that? Yeah. So are you using like your like win rates and revenue projections over goals over time and stuff like that widget?
We have some different pipelines, like estimated sale date. And then we have different business rules or lead management categories. The sales, we really like the actual versus goal because it's just a very straightforward percentage. They use it in all the senior management meetings. So it's a consistent thing that all business units and offices use. That estimated sale date is one that they use a lot. When it just depends on the win rate stuff and maybe some, and then some of it gets a little bit more individual for the groups but those are a couple of them. So that's what they're to put in marketing plans and what they report to senior leadership.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't really used the sales, the actual versus the estimated. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, for co-essential, it's just an actual.
Essential. Yeah.
It's just a big percentage is all pretty much it is within it. So it's very telling and.
Awesome. I'll have to look into that one. Yeah, I've always played around with that one, but you got my mind spinning, so I'm going to take a look at it now. So Suzanne and Andy, it sounds like you guys mostly use it for your marketing content, right? Yeah, capturing your goals. Got it. So cleanup of marketing content. Did you have some goals that you set last year for yourself that you guys were able to accomplish that maybe you could talk about that could maybe inspire others? Did you have some goals that you were able to set?
I just started at my company in May, so
Yeah.
no.
No.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just started here and I did not have CRM at my last position. And my goal last year was to get out of that toxic work relationship and make a move. So,
Well,
so I
congratulations.
accomplished that.
Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome. So how do you like having a CRM going from having one to not having one? How
I
has that
did
been
have, so I
beneficial?
had one in 2 jobs ago. Then we didn't have one, and it was very like I felt like everything was just very antiquated and old school. And the company I worked at was a smaller company, and so and I, they'd only had, like, my boss had been there for close to 20 years, so there wasn't a lot of new ideas coming through the doors and whatnot, and so it was very different from coming from a larger company and having boilerplate templates and things like that. And, they just, in my last place, we kind of just flipped books from the previous submission and stuff, which is great sometimes and not great at times, but as everyone knows, but they were in the process. I did introduce them to CoCentral, and because we were still tracking Monday morning meetings, like on all the pursuits and opportunities were still being tracked in Excel, and we had like various people touching it. So it got very confusing and whatever. So, so they were in the process. When I left, they were in the process. They had signed a contract with Uninet and were in the process of getting that started. They declined to bring on CKC to consult because they didn't think they needed them, even though I assured them that, or I strongly advised that they bring them on. But I'm kind of glad they didn't, because they're a little bit of a shit show, and I'm glad no one at CKC has to deal with them. So, yeah, so it's nice to come back to it. And I feel like I'm about 6 years behind already, just remembering, and I hadn't used it very long before, so I wasn't a pro at it by any means. So now I'm like, with the CRM specialist in my title, I have to become that pro. So that's also part of my goal, is just to keep learning and learning all the nuances and things I don't know yet. So
yeah, well, that's nice that your company values data and the CRM like that, to have a dedicated person. It's so important. So that's awesome. That's great. All right. So how are you guys, just going back to the goals for 2023, how are you tracking your goals for this year? Are you going to train? Is there a way for you to use a system, or how are you? I don't know, because a lot of your guys' goals are content related, it sounds like. So I know that you have some maintenance dashboards. That's, I find, to be incredibly helpful. Do you have specific, I know for some of my clients, I've set up specific marketing auditing dashboards that you can just click into. Do you guys have anything set up like that? Anyone? Or is it just mixed in with all of your reports?
I would love to see what that looks like, and to see if maybe I can copy it to ours. I mean, I'm always open to ideas about ways to do it better.
Yeah, so I created just a marketing dashboard, and then I have like one tab that's like project audit, and it'll show like maybe data points that I know I need in the system, you know, like missing, show me all reports that are missing the zip code, or all the reports missing descriptions, or all projects. I tried to limit it to, at this time I created it last year, so it was like all projects created this year missing this data point, and then that's one report. And all projects created this year missing this data point. So then essentially your goal, the goal for the marketing or whoever's reviewing this coordinator, is to keep those reports empty. You should always log on and it should be empty. And if there's something there, then that means I have to go in and do it. And this dashboard, the actual dashboard, you can just click into it and put it on your screen and just view, or it could be assigned to your marketing coordinator. But I had, so it'd be like project audit dashboard, and then opportunity audit dashboard. What are the data points that I want to track that are missing? Same thing. Personnel records, in kind of whatever your company kind of tracks. But the goal is to always have the reports at 0. And so once they're at 0, obviously you could go take another step to a year back and try and clean up those records if they're important, and then work your way, but just like in small chunks. So that's one thing that I've set up for some clients that they've found to be helpful. Does anybody else have anything like that that might be helpful or that's worked for you in the team?
I did, so Vance, just a heads up, we're going to be discussing that more on our next call, because I'd like to set that up if we don't already have one. I have to look and see if we have one. I don't know, but I know we do have the reports, but they're mixed in with all the other reports, and they probably need some tweaking. But I know, and this was a Courtney Vance suggestion, but on some of, like, in the project records, she suggested finding a field that is trackable and reportable, to just put in when I've completed that, you know, when I've gotten all the information I need or completed that project or whatnot, to put the date in there, and just so we can run a report that way. Since I am being graded on this for end of year goal, you know, end of year bonus and review and all that stuff, I definitely need all the help I can get in making things trackable for that. So I thought that was a really good idea. So yeah,
that is really smart. Yeah, I know it's always trying to find a way to know when a project is like complete, like this is it, we have everything. That always seems that it's hard to know where how to track those projects. So that's a great idea. I'll definitely have to implement that somewhere. I like that. Awesome. Yeah, because essentially you could have a report on your dashboard where it's like where these dates are missing, then, you know, that's your action item, right? So very cool.
I'd like
very
to ask
cool.
a question about the reports.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who are trying to use Uninet, Cosentral, and we've created reports for a lot of them, and we've had Cosentral for about 5 years now. And the length of reports is huge. And in the old days, of course, and it still might be the case, every time you make an edit to the report, you have to save it under a new name. You know, you have to change something in the name. You can't just overwrite it. So you can't tell which reports people are actually using, which ones are old and they were used once and don't need to be there anymore. Is there an accurate way of maintaining the reports list so it's not just filled with junk?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So if you are an administrator or an OFA with your system, in the reports module, you'll have access to the reports manager. Now, and this is not a perfect measurement of how well it's being used. There are some exceptions. If you're using reports tied to publisher, it would not show you the information that you need for this next step. But within reports manager, in one of the columns, it'll say uses, it'll be like, and create date. So if it was used once in 2020, it's, and it's not tied to publisher templates in any way, then it's probably something that can be deleted. I say usually a good rule of thumb is if it's only been used once in a year or, more, then it's probably a report that can be removed. But there are some reports you may find that are there. They haven't been used much that you might need to find out. But generally, that is a good way. And you can do like a checkbox for each of the ones that you want to delete. You should be able to delete from that view multiples at a time if you wanted to.
Thank you. I will do that today.
Yeah, there's a caveat with that. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a caveat with that. If you have a report, some of the reports that I use quite a bit, I don't actually open the report. I actually always say customize. So if you open a report using the customize, it does not get counted as open. So if there's a report, and you know the difference, right? If you click on the link and it publishes the report, it gets counted. But if I click on the little square on the right and say, I want to edit this report before I publish it, before I create it, it does not get counted in the reports manager. So if you have any reports that you use like that, that's like, I have to edit this before I pull it, it will not get tracked. So I would just be cautious in knowing what you're deleting, because you could delete a report that gets used every single day, right? But it doesn't show that because it's somebody opens it in the custom side.
Then what is another answer to keep these from just keep adding and adding?
So what I tend to do is if I make a change, I rename it, I save it, I rename it, I delete the old one, and then I go back and save the name as the original, or just delete the other report at that time and put a new date. So there's not.
And if you have a
Not-
frequent flyer for somebody that's creating multiple reports, you can actually see the user that created the reports. So you could pull up your reports manager from your account and ask Jane Doe, hey Jane, I saw you created all these reports. Can I get rid of any of them? And then just go through real quick and delete them. If she says, oh yeah, I don't need those anymore. Well, this was a great call. I have to jump. But thank you, Leah, so much. It was a really good call. So thank you all for everyone that attended.
Yeah. Yes, thank you all for attending, and I look forward to meeting with you guys again sometime.